22 degrees and blue sky and sunshine, just to make you all jealous. I've been a portrait photographer for 40 years, and I had a $953 sale this week from a copy and restoration job. That was my total income for the week.
Excellent. And you're a helicopter pilot?
And I'm a helicopter pilot.
Okay. Jeff, tell us something. Jeff.
My name is Jeff Fisher. If you're from India, you'd probably say Geoff, as I get that a lot. I've been shooting portraits since the late 70s. I started out in press photography in the late 60s and spent 5 years writing one stuff for newspapers and TV and stuff, in the news departments. But basically, I'm now rebuilding from a fairly low base, and I've let things drop. I've dropped off page one with my family portrait and corporate photography in recent years. I sat there for about 4 or 5 years organically. What else? Oh, I've had a couple of sales this week have been basically no sales. So I'm really interested to get my head around what to do after you get a lead and to manage those leads properly.
And come on, just tell us what's unique about you, Jeff.
Well, besides good looking, I don't know.
Do we not mention your heart?
No, you can mention that. I had a slow 10 years of heart problems, and 2 years ago had a new heart put in, which is going really well. It hasn't stopped since I got it, and haven't had to call on a warranty or anything. So I'm very happy, and all I have to do now is just get my business going a bit better.
All right. Well, you've got some support here. Tell us about yourself, John.
My name is John.
It's interesting, by the way, that it's typical of a photographer that when you give them a task, they get off track a little bit. I mentioned about just say 2 things: one, your highest sale, and the other thing, something's unique, and we will get off track a little bit. So, John, can you keep it short?
I'll stay on track, Bertie. So my name is John Glazer. I'm from Katy, Texas, which is right outside of Houston. I haven't had any sales this week, but I did book 5 clients using the methods that I'm learning from so far. Brian's been a big help. He got me kind of started and gave me some advice. And a unique thing about me, I was in the Navy band, United States Navy band, for 7.5 years, 9.5 when you count my National Guard time as well.
Instrument?
I was a bass guitar player.
In a band? How do you do parades with an electric guitar? You put the amplifier on your back or something?
I was in the rock band, so we did a lot of dances and balls and stuff like that. But I did play bass drum or cymbals in the marching band, so auxiliary percussion.
Okay.
So pick the simple instruments then.
Yeah.
Bass guitar and cymbals.
Tell us about yeah, and the harmonica all at the same time. Tell us briefly about you, Jeff, in 3 sentences.
Me, I have nothing to say. I've got six bookings. Whoops, sorry, six bookings this week. No sales. I've got a 10 o'clock appointment for a viewing session there today.
All right.
For those that don't know, I am an amateur radio operator. I've also spoken to the space station, the ISS, the space shuttle, one of the missions they had on, and Mir space station at one stage. So there you go, quick and easy. And I live in even more beautiful Port Stephens on the east coast of Australia.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Must be Jen.
Yes, I'm up.
Yes.
My name is Jen Lindberg. I'm in Lockhart, Texas, about 30 minutes from Austin. And my biggest sale this past week was $6,500. And something you might not know about me, my children were born in China, and we adopted them in 2012.
Hey, well done.
Thanks. Their
Right.
foster parents live in Australia.
That would have been a mission, getting them out of China.
So they were made in China.
They are. and they have Texan accents now.
Well, I hope they're good kids and they came with a warranty.
They're great kids. Amazing kids.
It makes
Brian.
you wonder how long they'll last.
Oh.
Brian.
Hey, I'm Brian Kellogg, live in Columbus, Ohio, and what was it? I had 6 bookings last week, no sales so far this week. It's just Monday, but yeah, and something unique. I jumped off the stratosphere in Las Vegas, so that was fun.
Wow. Is that like a parachute jump without a parachute jump? Or
Right.
is it a
So they
bungee?
attach a little bungee-ish kind of cord, and then you slow down the last like couple feet. So
It's a
you
line,
just like
a line
go
jump.
Yeah, go to about 45 miles per hour straight down, and then they I don't know, somehow they did the system where you slow down in the last second and you live.
Yeah, well, that's right. And the floor will stop you
Right.
anyway. So it's no problem. And you are a descendant of the Kellogg family that make the cornflakes?
I'm yet to receive a check from them. I keep on asking, and I can't get a check from them for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I noticed the other day, sorry, Bernie, I noticed the other day, I came across the very first episode of the Beverly Hillbillies. And your name is plastered all over the billboards as they drive down Hollywood Boulevard.
Brian Kellogg.
Brian? Kellogg, yeah. Have a look at it on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Okay, so what I want to do today is we've called this Fearless Marketing, and I just want to remind those that, hang on, I'll just get my act together if I can, which isn't easy for someone that got up at 5 a.m. this morning and has already done 2 Zoom calls. And I've got one at 10 o'clock. So we've only got not long, 3/4 of an hour, but I'll flick through this and I just want to tell you a little bit about what I think of marketing and see if we can get it in your head about what marketing is about. And if I ask the question, what is marketing? The answer is everything. Everything. So marketing is everything, certainly to a business. And so I just want to go through this presentation quickly that I found. And first of all, I'm going to change screens and go through this with you in the time we have. So what do we think we mean by fearless marketing? What do you think I mean by that? Anybody want to say?
I would say go ahead even in the face of disappointment and things going wrong, but doing it anyway and taking a risk and jumping off the ledge and that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so let's just go here. All right, so we're going to just talk about, as far as I know, there are 7 ways to get customers to your business. Most of them are unexplored because they are things that we can do that either get too hard or we don't think it'll work, or there's lots of fear amounts doing them. So first of all, we have to look at what marketing is, and it took me a little while to get my head right in the meaning of marketing, but when you do, it's a wonderful thing. It's like seeing the light in your photography. As a light comes on and you go, oh yeah, I get it. I get it. So it's not about putting labels on a baby, by the way, but I just thought that was a cute photo.
That's cute.
But there's some brands there that you may recognize, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about this many years ago and I came up with my definition. So marketing is strategically connecting with a targeted audience to lead them to your business to purchase some of the products you have to offer at a price they're willing to pay. Anyone got any comments on that? Is there something wrong with that? Does that not define marketing, or is that what it's all about? Or have I missed something out?
No, that probably sums it up. I guess as photographers, we're always trying to work out what is the price that they are willing to pay.
Yep. Well, we don't know that till we get them in. The first thing, we have to market them to them first.
Yep.
And it says strategically connecting with a targeted audience, and that targeted audience, obviously, when we say targeting, is not targeting. It's not what I read about targeting, about putting on your Facebook ad what shop the woman works, shops at, or the car they drive, or the whatever. It's more targeting in a way where you get the sense that they want to spend the money on buying photographs. It's not about whether they've got the money, because we don't know whether they've got the money till we get them in. I'm sure there's a lot of stories we could give about, you know, people who've spent a lot of money with us that were the wrong target. Like my highest average album sale was $15,000, but they were certainly the wrong target. It was a second time wedding, second time around for both of them. They had 2 kids. It was a small wedding on a cliff top, a small reception. So got everything against it, but it gave me my biggest sale. So we don't know. We just hope to target in a brand where we sort of make them aware of our brand, and that helps in their decision that they're coming to us because they want to spend money.
Yep.
And it's always a price they're willing to pay. They're not going to spend it if they don't think it's good value and the perceived value is not high, or they're not emotionally attached, which they are anyway, because they say we just buy an emotion, and generally we do. We buy a car because of its color, quite often, or clothes, or whatever. So just marketing is not new to me. These are some of the marketing things I put in place 50 years ago. That's a long time, isn't it? 50 years. So, you know.
You can tell they're all typed out.
Yeah, I used to leave the cave about 5 in the morning, and, you know, fight a dinosaur as I walked down the road to my studio. No, but this was some of the things we used to do around the community. We had competition boxes in, one here was a children's wear shop. The other one was in a steak place or restaurant. The other was Wendy's Hamburgers. And the Wendy's Hamburgers we know very well, because when we did that, we had 950 entries in a week. In a week, 950. But what that meant, in other words, 950 people filled out the form to win a, whatever it was, a free family sitting plus a free 10 by 13, 5 by 4 inch, normal total value, $31.50. And what we used to do is we'd send out this little flyer here to them to say they'd won and to call us, right? Offer closes in 14 days. So we had a course call to action, and they had to phone us. So we're saying, congratulations, you're a consolation prize winner. So it meant that we'd have to sit at home in the kitchen, writing out envelopes, handwriting the names and addresses of the entrants, sticking one of these in, printing them out, sticking them in, putting a stamp on and posting them. So it's a bit easier nowadays, but this is the effectiveness of this marketing. And I used to do 40 or 50 sessions a week, not a month, not a year, a week. So they were half-hour sessions. So I was pretty busy shooting, and that's why I had to employ a salesperson very quickly. But we do have a tendency to stick our head in the sand when it gets a bit too difficult, or we think things won't work without testing them. So it's all about test and measure. So it's about being fearless about that, not worrying about whether it works or not. Look upon everything as a test and measure. Just like life itself, it's a test and measure, right? And the way we can turn any business from there to there is to make things happen. So the more we hone our skills in marketing, the better results we're going to get. And we're getting some fantastic results. Let's not forget that, you know, fantastic sales and everything. And but we're always working on the processes. And I'm working on a new landing page as we speak with a photographer, but we're going to test it before I can say to everyone, now test this for yourself, because it's been working. So we have to market, capture, sell. And that's all the role should be: market, capture, sell. Market to get leads, capture those leads, and then sell to the ones that we feel are our customers. Some things that don't work, photographers' perceptions that they think this is a good idea. It's not strategized at all. It's just a good idea. And this is out there. Don't look upon this as your competition. Look upon this as just people playing. It's like playing in the park, kicking a ball, really. It's not marketing. But there's a lot of that around, but don't get distracted. That doesn't work. These are just people playing. We seriously play. So the 7 things we're just going to look at quickly. If you've got 7 things implemented in your business, it's going to work a lot better. We do need pillars of marketing. Pillars of marketing, you know, if we can get 7 pillars of marketing, because we know if one of those pillars falls down, there's still 6. If 2 of them, we've still got 4 propping up our business. But if we've just got 1, i.e. Facebook ads, we could be in trouble if Facebook suddenly stops working. So I've done many book and calendar projects. I'll just get Wendy to pass me. Can you pass me Sarah's book there, please? I've got a heap of books here that I've done and photographers have done with me to get money. I'll show you this after. I won't sort of disturb what I'm doing. But that's Sarah's book at the back there, Mother and Daughter. We've done lots of books, dogs, and of course my own project, A Woman, Her Shoes and Her Handbag, as well as a newborn, bundles of joy, and kids and pets type projects. So if you haven't done a calendar, we might look at be doing one this year. Christmas is coming. We might look at doing that around about October, November. Same principle. And I got the calendars done, and they cost me $35, and I sold them for $175, and a woman bought 2. I couldn't believe it. I fell off the couch. You want 1 for each of your kids? Really? $350 for 2 calendars. It cost me $70, but you don't know. But it brought in a lot of sessions as well. So a calendar project, you might think, as I did, that you can only get 12 photographs to a calendar. Not quite right. You can actually get 48, because I thought, why can't I put 4 photos to each month? 4 times 12 is 48. So I can get 48 people involved in this calendar. And I've got a copy of that calendar. When we're ready to do it, we're ready to rock and roll. So with that, we just choose a genre, find a charity, customer donates money, and we photograph. We donate our time in either a print or a credit. Just exactly the same as what we're doing now, but it's just a different form. So we're attracting sort of people in a different way, different bait, same hook, different bait. Third-party competition. I don't know how many of you have tried this, tested it. I know I had one client about 2 years ago, and I mentioned this to him, and in about 5 or 6 weeks, he had 75 competition boxes around the area, which I couldn't believe. So he was gathering leads this way as well. So it's just a competition, win A. And if you look at the one on the right, that's Viva, which is one of the franchises here in Australia. And that's one of their marketing methods. Same principle, lead generation, gathering people's names, phone numbers, and contacting them and sorting out, you know, the good from the bad. So if you haven't got those happening, it's worth testing. The third one is the third-party gift program. That's been done for a long, long time. So that's another one that we should be considering. Whoops, gone a bit quick there, haven't I? Where are we? I just see some people trying to get in. If you just let's see if I can let them in. I think I've let them in. By the way, it is best to arrive on time for these meetings, because otherwise we'll be way ahead of you and you may get locked out. So that is important. The old trusted and tested Facebook ad, which has been going very well now for a hell of a lot of number of years, still working fantastically. What makes the difference in the ad is the different genres. If you know, for those of you who've got a workbook, if you looked in the workbook, you'll see there's 15 or 20 different genres that we've worked with quite successfully. It's fantastic, it's working. What would we do without the old Bernie's Facebook ad? Where would we be? Good question. That's why we have to do more marketing and be a bit more fearless and do other things, and don't lose your focus on just doing this. So the Facebook ad is very simple. It's changed a lot. As I was saying to Jen, she's sort of saying what about a model call out. I said, I've never done a model call out. I don't like doing model call outs. I don't know who came up with model call out, but it wasn't me. It's called wanted ad. So you choose a genre, you refine your targets in Facebook ads a little bit, and you grab the attention with the headline, which is the wanted, and you just make it easy for them to leave their details. So it's as simple as that. It's what I call fluffless advertising. We don't have to put any adjectives in there. We don't have to say adventurous couples or amazing people or people who want to try something different or families that are off the face or whatever, weird families, whatever, just keep it simple. I did come up with another genre that some of you might like to try, and it's called Wanted Fit Families.
Fit families.
There are families that, you know, share the belief of fitness and, you know, go running together, or mum and dad are into the gym and the kids and so on, and may do sport, whatever, or do gymnastics. Doesn't mean to say you have to get fit. It doesn't mean to say you have to get fit, no.
No.
We can use 2 genres.
Fit and fat.
Couch potato families.
Yeah, couch potatoes. Yeah, well, there is that. I don't know. We have to tread very carefully nowadays, don't we? We have to be very aware. We were really slapped when we did. Oh, that's right. Mothers and their children. And, and we said in the copy, hey, yes, Dad, you have to take time off work, a couple of hours to come and have your family photographed and so on. And you got a slapping, Jeff, did you?
I did, yeah, a couple of times. I get that. I used to that. My missus slaps me a fair bit, so it's okay.
So they said things like,
Oh,
how dare you say my husband doesn't love his family or something.
Oh,
I will say my terminology now has changed to partner.
Partner?
partner.
Yeah,
I never
I
use the
think,
word spouse, never use the word husband, never use the word wife. It's always a partner.
yeah, we know now that family can be anything, you know. It can be anything. It is hard to define, but when you say family, we, going back years when we used to do these ads I showed you, we used to get in trouble sometimes by saying family, and then we'd get a single mum saying, well, I'm a family. And we'd go, yeah, but we don't want you. Because in previous experiences, you never spent any money. So, yeah, it is difficult. But family, if you say family, you can't go wrong. But I suppose if we say we're looking for families with 2 kids, 4 to 6 years old, you'll always get the people that say, well, I'm a family and I've only got a baby. Yeah,
Well, it used to annoy me every time I go and buy some tickets to go somewhere. You could buy a family ticket with myself, the wife, and 2 kids, and then I've had another 4 kids hanging on behind me. How am I going to pay for that lot? I'd have arguments all over the place for that. Yeah. So,
you could always go the road of least resistance.
oh yeah, could have.
You could have, but that's not as much fun. So the Facebook ad, yeah, it's working. Keep it simple. Don't get complicated. We're just gathering leads, right? We're like farmers going out in the fields and gathering the crops, and then we sort the wheat from the chaff, right? That's a good analogy, isn't it, Marie? You smiled at that. Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
As
So I
you're
can
a
relate.
farmer. Yeah, you can relate.
Yes, sow the seeds, reap the crop.
Yeah, we're just going, yeah, plant the seeds, then go do it. That's good. So there's email marketing, which I've really pushed upon you a little bit since COVID to get it going, and a lot of you have. It's important we send out those emails regularly. As far as what I've done with my email newsletters, I've done that for many years to photographers. I'll just mute Marie. Done that for many photographers, but what I found is starting to work the best is the regular webinars I do. So I get a very good response from my database to attend webinars. And it's been the most effective form of me getting people to my webinars than anything else I've done. So that's why with the Facebook marketing, we have to look at different genres and sort of search out for different groups of people that will respond to us. So email marketing, you know, if you're having problems writing a newsletter, just let me know. We can soon knock something together. Here's a very simple one. I think this was the first one. This one, it says that she had 600, this is Fee Mims in Melbourne, 600 subscribers, 20 portraits inquiries in 24 hours. So you've got to do things like that. Again, I wouldn't recommend the 5x7 inch print, but look, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you offer. It's just your middle process. If you've got that solid, then you won't be photographing a lot of freebies, right? Jeff, you still give photographs, don't you, with your third party affiliates?
Depends on the promo. I swap and change a little bit. I figure, yeah, given a $200 gift voucher and then another $60 to spend, it's more, well, you've got to spend some money to get here. I'd rather just give them a print and work from there and then upsell from that.
Yeah, you just do what you can.
And mix it up a bit.
So also email marketing, it talks about the website, opt-in form on your website, so I can opt into your newsletter, or even better, you could put subscribe to a newsletter in small print and also receive a complimentary $200 gift voucher, right? So they're actually opting into your newsletter, but they're getting something for it. Do it regularly, make it interesting, and include your best. You've got to stop people, whatever we do, don't just put blah, blah stuff in. If you want to get people, you'll get people unsubscribe. I do all the time. I'm amazed that people should actually unsubscribe from hearing from me.
Oh, I throw bottles at them.
It hurt me for a while, but I got over it. It took me a few years, but I'm all right now.
It still hurts, Bernie. Don't worry.
I can't believe people would not want to talk to me. It's incredible. But anyway, has anybody put together a good referral program?
No.
No? No.
No.
And if you know of anybody, will you let me know? We've tested a lot of things. I still think it sort of has some relevance. I think for me, the best thing if you want to test something is when people pick up the work, ask them. Ask them. Just say, look, is there anyone else you think would, be interested in having some photographs taken and have wall art like you've got?
Now, I already do a referral style program, Bernie, you know that, with a couple of gift certificates every time they pick their prints up. Someone comes.
But is it working?
And no, it's not working as well as you would think. But you get one every now and then. But that was handing them to the client to hand off to some friends.
Yeah.
So I had no. It was actually just giving them a lead rather than giving them a referral. So I would rather now change that, get their names and addresses off a couple of friends, and post them out a gift certificate with a little letter.
I think it's worth having some form of easy referral program. But for me, it's like if I go out and buy a grey Mercedes.
That'd be your first mistake.
Well, I've got one, Jeff. It has to be grey.
Careful.
So, but do I go and say to my friends, I just bought a grey Mercedes, they're fantastic, you should have one, they're amazing, go buy it? No. So that it's sort of to me like that, referring photography, like just because someone's bought something doesn't mean to say someone else wants the same. So as I say, if you put a referral program in place, you could, but test it, measure it, and if it's not working, maybe drop it, but maybe you could, just put some, I'll come up with something if you want to talk to me next time, say, hey, Bernie, have you slept on this referral program and what can I do? I'll give you something. Don't worry about that. I'll come up with something. But if you ask at the time of sale, ask at the time of the order collection when they're picking up, put in your newsletter and use it as a promotional flyer that you put in to the work when they collect it. In other words, you could have a flyer in there which says, thank you, we really appreciate you being one of our discerning clients. I've used that word twice, Jen, see, discerning clients.
I like it.
Would love for you to pass on these to your friends, enclose the 2 gift certificates for your friends. And the other one that, getting free publicity is not as difficult as you think. Most of the people in the group have been in the newspaper or magazines or whatever, right? And it's always free marketing for me, because to get your face in the newspaper is easier than you think. The first thing you have to do is approach the newspaper. That's always a good start. They're not going to call you up and say, hey, are they?
Well,
hi.
Probably not.
Bernie, I've got my photo of the month mailing list is the local journalist, and so she actually gets my photo of the month every month.
Oh.
And generally twice a year they run an article just from picking up my photo of the month email.
That's so smart.
How often do they get in touch with you, Robin?
Twice a year generally.
Okay.
Often, Robin is featured all the times, a lot over the years for different projects, you know.
Yeah, so we did a Mother's Day 5 generations photo, which I photographed actually last year for a book, but we did that photo for Mother's Day for May, and the newspaper ran the article again, and contacted the clients as well for the story.
It is great that, you know, you've made it when the newspaper phones you up and asks you. You know, I had that with one client. They phoned her up and asked her, because she'd won 3 small business awards, they phoned her up and said, what do you think of the new economy and the changes that the government made in the budget for small business? I mean, phoning a photographer to ask her. It was incredible. So what we're doing at present is, as some of you know, that I do every year, the 6th year for National Family Portrait Month, we've targeted that. So you could do this yourself, you guys in the States, very easily. We're doing this project where we're producing a book. It's National Family Portrait Month. It's, I've changed the title. It's going to be Family Love, and it'll be a reflection of 2020. Which will reflect the time that we've been through in the last 6 months. We've chosen a charity called Beyond Blue, which is a charity that's a lifeline for people having mental issues, because the rate of, you know, their services has gone up 65% of the coronavirus things, and you can understand that. It's a big hidden thing about mental health through this. So we're raising funds for that. Now, if you took that to your local newspaper, they would grab it. They would want to know more about it because it's relevant to today and what's happened and going forward. And, you know, the fact that the charity is in need of more funds, so you're helping to raise funds. They would grab that, all right? So the photographers that I've got will have participating. That'll be one of the things they can do, get publicity in the local paper. And the funny thing was, to give an example, on the left here, this photographer, I was coaching them and I talked to him about getting free publicity. And I said, approach a local newspaper. What had he done? A New Talent Award. So I ran a competition via Australian School of Wedding and Portrait Photography, and he won one of the awards in a field of 250 studios in Australia and Southeast Asia. And I said, you've won this award, you should get in touch with your local newspaper and tell them, you know. And they took him into town, told him to bring some lights, set up, got a bride, did all that extravagant thing just for that one photo op, you know. And that's amazing. And it was in the local paper. So do you think that would have helped his positioning in the marketing and trust and something he could promote through Facebook, etc.? And Life Through the Lens, I think that was about, I don't know, can't read it. It was probably something about National Family Portrait Month. Or about photographing children, I don't know, something. Anyway, that was in a glossy weekly magazine. So yeah, free publicity, it's out there. This is the point about fearless marketing. It's not about doing something once. It's not about doing something twice. It's not about doing something 3 times. It's about continually doing it. In other words, with your newsletter, you send it out 3 times, right? How do you do that? Well, you send it out once. As you know, MailChimp will tell you who hasn't opened it. So then you send it out to those people who haven't opened it, and then you look again or send it out again. Because the open rate's only 25, 30%. So send it out 3 times.
Bernie, I just switched to Moose Send.
I saw that, Moose.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like Canadian.
I wanted to refresh everything, so I basically sacked my whole list almost. Well,
Right. Yeah.
I got back to the core of it, which is
Yeah.
only about 340 or something. And this one that I'm using now, Moose Send, will send out to everyone that didn't open again.
Automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought,
And
well,
what-
that's interesting.
And what about the ones that didn't open the second time?
Haven't tried the 3 times. Maybe I could.
And what about what open rate do you get, or have you been getting?
A bit above average, apparently. 28 to 33. It varies a little bit.
Yeah. But round about there, my
Yeah.
open rate's it's under 20%. I'm using eye contact. I have for years. I'm just thinking of going over to MailChimp. I know Marcus changed because he was getting a poor open rate. I don't know what he was using. He went to MailChimp. And I said, is there a difference? He said, chalk and cheese. He said, his open rate has gone up to 30%, and big change. So
I think probably if there's a hint of emotional headlines or emotion in it, rather than just looking like a sales thing, you're going to get a better open rate. And maybe that's all something you would probably say test and measure.
So what's Marcus gone from and to?
I'm not sure what he was, but he was getting a lot of spam. There's a lot going to spam.
Mm-hmm.
We'd look at the analytics and they'd say, get in the spam rate. And he didn't think it was because what he was writing. He thought it was the
service.
So, yeah, he changed it. He's happy now. We're really happy. So I'm thinking of doing, I'm just looking at costs. If MailChimp's going to cost me $10 more, I pay $89 a month for my 8,000 to 10,000 subscribers. MailChimp's $99 a month. I'm paying $89, so it's going to cost me a bit more. But if I get a bigger strike rate, it's going to be much better.
Just looking at my reports here at the moment, Bertie. I'll give you a quick look, quick idea. I've got a database of 3,300 and 3,400 subscribers, and that was at 4,500, so I've got 1,200 back off. So open rate's 23%, 20, 18, 11, 27, 19, 32, 34, 36, 30, 24, so it's up around that range. And once you cull them back and get them to the right audience, I think you're pretty right.
Yeah, just getting back to Jeff about getting back to the fish, Jeff Fisher, commonly called the fish because he's a swimmer. It's not, I don't think, the subject line that causes people to open it, it's who it comes from. So I'm thinking strategically and tactically, you should change who it's coming from, because I know I can have it coming from, I mean, the email address remains the same, but you can change who it's from.
Well, in my case, who else is there?
I don't know. I'm just thinking that maybe we can come up, or I can come up with something to test, because it's coming from, I don't know what you could put in that line, because I know if I'm like most people, I see who it's from, and then I determine whether it goes into trash, delete, don't open. And if I'm happy with who it's from, then I'll look at the subject line and then I'll open it, or I won't even look at the subject line. I'll just open it because I know it's from. I
suspect that a lot of emails are looked at in the preview without actually opening. So you might get false reports because people can read just about most of the email just from what's on the right-hand side of the page. And
but you have to click on it. Oh, you're saying that's not an open?
Yeah, it's only an open if you click on it and actually open it, isn't it?
I had a real estate mailing list that I'm on, And they actually sent me an email saying, you haven't opened any of our emails in the last year. We're going to take you off our list. And reply if you don't want to be taken off the list. And of course that got my attention, and I'd been reading them, as Jeff says, just in the preview. So I actually had to say I've been reading every one of them, just previewing them, not clicking.
All right.
Well,
So
I think I sacked about 1,000 people because of that.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm thinking of culling mine, but it doesn't make any difference. The only reason you'd cull them, so it's cheaper for you to send out.
Under 1,000 is free.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I'm paying about $95, I think it is a month.
you're still charged on how many you send out, right?
Yeah, MailChimp, I think once you get over 5,000, but they charge all the ones that are unsubscribed. That's still your mailing list as well.
Well, Moose doesn't charge for that. They don't charge for all the ones that have bounced or disappeared.
Yeah.
But they're on the list, but they're not counted as part of your active list.
Okay. So what's it called, Jeff? Moose?
Yeah, Moose Send.
You put it down in a circle, so it's in there. I did see that. I might check that out to make.
Jeff, you've got a great story. Why don't you read up the media and go, the man with the biggest heart in Perth is restarting his business.
Hey, that's good. I have actually done that. I've sent out newsletters and stuff like that. I do from time to time. Oh, by the way, there's some really good half-day courses on how to get publicity. And one of the biggest takeouts from that is never send anything to a newspaper saying that it's a press release. You know, but hang everything on a story idea and get their interest, but don't tell them it's a press release.
Well, yeah. The other thing is that don't ever put anything that the newspapers think that you're promoting yourself. It's always got to be about somebody else, and you're just there helping. So, but again, how often do you approach the newspapers? Depends on what events you can come up with, what you can get them excited about, what, you know, in all the projects we do, we can do to make them, you know, fundraisers or whatever. You've got to make it as though you're doing good for your community, not trying to promote yourself. That's
Can I just mention something else that I haven't done for a long time, and I don't know whether I'm lazy or I sold all my easels. I got rid of them all. But I used to find empty shops, and I've had like hundreds of meters free for a year at a time sometimes on a busy highway. And I just think it's time to have another look at that, because there's so much real estate around in business areas. And a passive display that, and I was even thinking that, because lighting was a problem, sometimes you had to go and buy lighting, get the electricity put back on, and that can be expensive if you've got them on around the clock or whatever. But anyway, you could do that maybe with the solar panels of some sort, and just run little lights for night time. But there are a lot of empty shops that would probably allow us to put a couple of easels in with a referral to our website.
Yeah, well, it's a good point. You just reminded me about shopping centres. I think they should be tested again. And again, getting back to the charity, and I used to use shopping centres a lot. You run a competition, of course, in conjunction with it, competition box. And the good thing about it, it may get you not instant clients, although it does, the leads you get from filling out their details and putting in the competition box. But I had people come to me 6-12 months later and say, yeah, I saw your display at such and such shopping centre. So it's something people remember. And whenever you can show your work physically, and that's good. When you talk about lighting, Jeff, yes, it was always a problem, but now you can buy off Amazon lights with batteries in, spotlights.
Yeah.
That you can actually use, so you don't even need power.
LEDs are very cheap to run.
Yeah. but you don't need power. So it's all about test and measure. It's about Fearless. Here's one of my Fearless projects that I did many years ago when scratchy tickets came into vogue. We all know scratchy tickets. Anyone not bought a scratchy ticket, hoping to win $1 million or more, 20,000. Oh, I got in touch with another photographer. I said, let's try this promotion. So these are DL flyers, right? And they've got scratch boxes on the front. And the 6 boxes, scratch all boxes, match any 3 and win the prize. So, so you scratch, and guess what? All of them.
Everyone wins.
All of them had 3 prizes, and they were all $250 prizes, right? Not $500. You've won a consolation prize, $250 worth. So you can see that it says postpaid. So we got these made, and we got the post office to deliver them, and we split them between the one photographer and myself. We just had the printing changed for the name of the business and the phone number, and we put out 40,000. So we put out 20,000. I put out 20,000, right? How do you think we went with that?
Expensively.
Yeah, it cost a little bit, but yeah, it was a challenge, wasn't it? We had to find someone that could print with a scratchy thing on it and all of that.
Yeah, I think that you'd probably get a good uptake, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, we've got 40,000 out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we didn't get one. Not one.
Really?
What?
Not one. Not one.
Obviously not marketing correctly.
Well, it seemed like a good idea, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Seemed like a great idea. I mean, come on. This is a new form of marketing. We didn't need a large percent, surely. Yes, no.
Surely you would have somebody say, oh, that's a great idea, I'll give you a call.
No, nothing. So when people talk of marketing and come up with a good idea, we always like to strategize it, and I think, no, that won't work. But if you want, test it.
Mm-hmm. So what did you say, Brian?
I've always heard that you have to send out 5 pieces of the exact same letter or card before they actually even open it or do anything with it, like that.
I think these days I think these days there'd be so much junk mail in your mailbox as opposed to letters or bills. It's
okay, let's put it about that. Yes, it did arrive as junk mail, but this was before junk mail. You know, this is before big junk mail came about. Secondly, the other great idea that a lot of photographers said to me over the years, a letterbox drop. So I did that early in my career. I did a letterbox drop. I did 5,000 flyers. My brother and I walked the streets for many hours pushing these in letterboxes. Guess how many we got from that?
Don't say none.
No, I won't. 1.
Oh.
1. Wow.
1. So if anyone says to me, how about a letterbox drop? I go, no. Yeah. It doesn't work. So there's a lot of ideas out there, but look, what we're doing and what I teach are things that are proven to work in the past. They're still working. So the idea is to get the focus on there. This is the other one I did to be a bit different. I produced these notes with a picture of me. That's the front and the back. And they were gift cards, right? So instead of giving them a business card, I give them a $50 bill, which was a voucher, $50, and it had got my phone number. There's a fax number there. There's my address. And I had it printed as close to a real $50 bill as I could. But you can't get too close because the police come knocking on your door. But we got the paper pretty right and everything. And I had those in my wallet for years, and I used to hand them out. Did I get any business from it? Not, I can't think that I did. Even though I was young and good looking, as you can see. The other one was a gold token. It was the year of the Olympic Games, and I thought it'd be good to give my card as a gold medal. So I gave people that as a card, you know, this is my card. But those are sort of gimmicky things. They're not marketing, they're just fun things.
I've got to go, Bernie. I have a client in the office.
Yeah, all right, mate. Good luck.
Yeah, have fun, guys.
$3,000 sale, Jeff, all right?
Yeah, right.
Just keep that in your head, mate. Keep that in your head. So, do you want
Bernie,
me
what was the best thing that you've ever done before Facebook for marketing?
Oh, just the same thing that I showed you when we did those winner family competition boxes. The boxes.
Got it.
The boxes, and that's the same as Facebook marketing. And it's all about getting leads. But one of the things, you know, that I keep emphasizing with your business, you've got to stand out from the crowd. You've got to build a brand. You've got to be different. You've got to at least offer something that there's some perceived difference between you and the person next door or the photographer next door. So always be changing that brand. You know, Lisa Visser is one of my favorite photographers, what she does, and she's memorable, that's for sure. You never forget those images when you see them. Different products. We've tried different products. We've tried that triple in a circle, matted framed. We've tried the circle perspex. We tested them. No one bought them. So I thought they'd be great. I thought these would be fantastic. But no one bought them. So proven not to work. So we all get carried away in this analysis paralysis, whatever, but we know what we're doing. Stick to the core of things, but we've called this fearless marketing, and it's about just stretching out a bit further with your fear and doing things and setting things up that even you may not think will work. Test them because they may work. You don't know that. Hello, duck.
I saw you had one in your one of your
duck.
ads. Yeah, you're holding it.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's bring some things back. You know, and let's try and I want you to build some more pillars, because it's, you know, we're worried we get too much work. Oh, what if I get overwhelmed? Great. That's a great problem. We can face that. What if I'm wasting my money? Well, try and minimize that. Don't strategize it so you don't waste money. It's not a waste if you're testing something, right? You know, probably won't work for me because I'm in a small town. And I'm in, yeah, it's all right in the States, but it won't work in England or whatever. I've heard it all before. And I can tell you, with having clients all over, from the UK, States, Singapore, New Zealand, wherever, small towns, big towns, doesn't matter. Everything works the same. Doesn't matter. It's just marketing is about that. That's why McDonald's were able to go into places like Russia and China and whatever. They'd got a process that worked, and they could put it in any country in the world, in any town, and it still worked. So that's what we're trying to do. Build a process that works and works wonderfully well. So just be fearless in everything you do, and don't do it once, and don't do something once and say, especially if it's like Facebook marketing, or that didn't work. There's a reason, probably, if it's Facebook marketing, that it didn't work. So your time, of course, is on the marketing of your business. It's marketing, marketing, marketing. You know that. I don't have to tell you, but I want to try and push everyone this year to do something else besides Facebook marketing. the first step was going to be the newsletter. I think I've got most of my clients doing a newsletter. So now we've got to do something else. And that's affiliate marketing, and something that I've introduced that I'm really excited about, that I'm not going to tell you too much about because I'm only doing it with a couple of photographers, is to get the affiliate marketing. We've got a business style program that's going to happen and be amazing. So, and that for me will give a perfect balance. We'll be able to get the affiliates on board. We'll be able to do the networking. Plus we've got the Facebook. Plus we can do other things. Other things I've done, for example, a dry cleaners. When people picked up the dry cleaning, it had a voucher on it which said, "You'll look fantastic now you've had your clothes cleaned by Harry's Dry Cleaners. Here's a voucher for you to have a photographic session, complimentary, and a print," right? Dry cleaners. In a cinema, a photograph of 2024 in a frame, competition box, win $500 worth of family photography, enter here. A sign that said, "You'll look great in pictures," and you can be, enter here. So you can do all sorts of things, lead generation, all right? So thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Good you all came, and let's keep going at this, eh? Fearlessly, without fear, right?
Yeah.
Sounds
All right,
good.
we'll catch up with you in our one-on-ones, and thanks for joining us, John.
Thank you, Bertie. Appreciate it.
And we'll see you
Bye,
all.
everyone.
We'll see you all in the group.
Bye, y'all.
Right.
Bye.
Bye, yous all.
Bye, y'all.